Hi friends, it's Miss Ashley. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about safety signs. So I know we've worked on safety signs in school, but they are very important to continue to work on either at school or at home. So we're going to watch a little video and I'm going to show you what I have here also. You ready? Let's go.
Let's talk about community and safety signs. Look at this sign. That says exit. Exit means the way out.
If you're leaving somewhere, if you're at school or you are at somewhere else in the community and you need to leave either in a rush or just normally, you look for an exit sign, right? The exit sign is right here. So it has 4 letters. Let's look at our 4 letters. It has E, X, I, and T. Exit. So again, when we want to go somewhere, we want to leave, we look for the exit sign. The opposite of an exit sign, right? And we'll review this a little bit more in the video later. The opposite of an exit sign, and we know a lot about opposites, right? Hot and cold are opposites. Open and shut are opposites. The opposite of an exit sign is do not enter. If you see the sign, and we're going to look more at this later, if you see the sign, do not enter, you cannot go there. No, no, no. Let's learn a little bit more about exit.
If we're in a building and we want to know how to get out, we just look for the exit sign. That way.
Again, also the exit signs are usually up above doorways. So you can see here in this example, here's our doorway, and the exit sign's above it. So if you want to look for an exit, you look up.
We know that that door is the door we use to leave the building.
Exit. Bye.
Exit. The way out.
The way out.
Look at the sign. That sign says poison. Poison is something that can make us very, very sick.
So this is a poison sign. Things that are poison, we usually do not want to touch them, or especially we do not want to put them in our mouth. So some poison signs are black and white like this, but some even are yellow and black, so you can see them even more. And this word on top could even say danger, because it's very, very dangerous. If you ever touch or taste something that has poison on it, you need to go see an adult or a doctor right away, or nursing at school.
We never touch something that's marked poison, and we never put it in our mouth. Poison can make us very, very sick. We never touch it, and we never put it in our mouth.
No, no, no.
Poison. Look at the sign. It says, keep out.
Keep out.
Keep out means do not go inside.
So we already talked about this sign a little bit before because it was the opposite of exit, where you go through something where you can leave. Keep out is also the same as do not enter. Do not go there. Keep out. Get out of there. You can see that the words are a little different. So this sign says keep out, but this sign says do not enter. But What's something that's very much the same about these two? What's the same? You're right, they're the same colors. They are both red and they are both white. Keep out and do not enter.
If we go inside and the sign says keep out, something bad might happen. We could possibly get hurt.
What is he doing or she? They're falling, right? So a sign that says keep out can really mean that there might be something steep at the other side or really unstable, so you could fall and get hurt. That's why you can't go in anywhere that has keep out or do not enter.
Or we could get in trouble.
We don't want to get in trouble.
Keep out. It means do not go inside.
We know this one.
Look at the sign.
What is this one? You all tell me. What is this one? You're right. It's stop. Stop. Stop what you're doing. We use this sign at school also, because sometimes if we're being silly or something's going on and it might not be safe, we say stop. Stop, please.
Sign says stop. Stop means stop walking. You have to stop when you see the stop sign.
You might also see out in the community, out in the road, when you're either on a bus or a car, or even when you're watching cars on the streets, there's something called a stoplight, right? So red, yellow, and green. And just like our stop sign that we use in school, around the community, when a stoplight has red, that means the car needs to stop. Because if cars don't stop, then they might get in an accident. They might crash together. So whenever we see that red, stop.
Before you can start walking again, you have to check and make sure there are no cars coming. First, you look to the left, and then you look to the right.
Look both ways.
If there are no cars, then you can step into the crosswalk. Walk across the street.
See that little guy?
Walk across the street. Walk across the street.
It's safe to walk.
Now you've crossed the street safely. If you're walking down the street and you see this sign, you have to stop.
Stop.
You have to look both ways and make sure there are no cars before you can cross the street.
True.
Look at the sign.
This, the woman already talked about a little bit. So before we cross any street, on any crosswalk, we have to look left and right, look with our eyes, use our ears to hear if things are coming, to make sure that there's no cars that can get us hurt. But on roads where there's crosswalks, and you saw the crosswalk before, it's those lines in the road, there are signs, right? And the signs, a lot of the times they look like this, or sometimes they're like little signs that are lit up. If you see this sign, that means you can walk. It means it's safe to walk across the road. Let's see.
That sign says Pedestrian Crossing. Pedestrian crossing means it's okay to cross the street there. But before you cross the street, you have to stop and look to the right.
And the left.
And then look to the left.
You might see this sign as well.
If there are no cars coming, then you can step into the crosswalk and walk across the street.
Walk across the street.
Walk across the street.
He's doing a great job.
Walk across the street.
You see there's no cars coming.
Good.
So it's safe.
Now we've made it across the street safely. Pedestrian crossing. It means it's okay to cross the street there after you've checked and make sure there are no cars coming.
Still always have to check with your eyes and your ears.
Look at the sign. The sign says hospital.
So hospital signs, you don't see those a lot in the community or really ever at school because there's no hospital at school. We have our nurses station, our office, but there's no hospital. And just like a stop sign or a walk sign or different signs that we saw, you see a lot of those in the community. But a hospital sign, they're only usually where hospitals are or where they're close to tell you if you're not feeling good, where to go to find the hospital to get some help. See, you can even see an arrow here that shows where to go. Let's listen and learn more.
H for hospital. We go to the hospital if we get hurt. We go to the hospital if we get very sick. And women who are going to have a baby will go to the hospital.
Like Miss Ashley. Miss Ashley's going to go to the hospital when she has her baby.
Hospital. That's where we go when we need help, when we get hurt or sick. Look at the sign. This says fire extinguisher. A fire extinguisher puts out fire. Look for this sign.
So a fire extinguisher, we see these in our school a good amount because we need to make sure that there's a fire extinguisher around just in case there is a fire. If there's a fire, then someone who is qualified, meaning someone who knows how to use that, you get trained, breaks the container that it's in, and uses the spray inside to get the fire out. What I'm going to say is that a lot of times with fire extinguishers, there's a sign that says, do not touch, because you shouldn't be touching it if there's no fire. You shouldn't be touching it. It's not a toy. It's not something that we just use whenever we want. It's only something we use when there's an emergency. So let's hear a little bit more about it.
Fire extinguisher when there's a fire, because we can use the fire extinguisher to put out the flames of the fire. Fire extinguisher. It's used to put out fire.
Helps keep us safe. We learned a lot about community helpers, and firefighters use fire extinguishers a lot.
Look at this sign. It says danger. Danger means it's not safe. If you see the danger sign, do not go inside.
Here's another danger sign. See, it's the same letters, D-A-N-G-E-R. This says danger, hot, do not touch. So this danger sign is a little more specific. meaning it means for one thing, it means that things are hot. Ouch, ouch, like a stove, or if you touch it, it'll really hurt you. The danger sign in the video, that's talking about a more general danger. But for both of them, if you see that sign, you do not want to go near it, you do not want to touch it, and you do not want to make sure you do not go close.
If you see the danger sign, don't go near that area. It could be unsafe. Mm-hmm. You might get hurt.
Yes.
Danger. It means not safe. Do not go in there.
Do not go in a room or anywhere that says danger.
Look at the sign. That sign says no trespassing.
So no trespassing means, again, do not enter. Do not go near it, right? Do not go. So I'm going to use the same sign as we had before. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Do not enter. This is just a couple more words. This sign with the trespassing violators will be prosecuted. That means you might get in trouble. We don't want to get in trouble. This, so it's the same. Again, what's the same with these do not go signs? You're right. They're both red and white again. Let's learn more.
Violators will be prosecuted. If you see this sign, do not go in there.
You do not want to go in there.
Because someone might call the police and you can get in big trouble.
You don't want to get in trouble.
No trespassing. Violators will be prosecuted.
Do not go in.
That means do not go in there. Because if you do, the police will be called and you can get in big trouble.
We don't want that.
Look at this sign. This sign says railroad crossing.
So it doesn't necessarily say railroad crossing, but it does say R&R, which stands for railroad crossing. This sign actually says railroad crossing, right? So railroad crossing is where big, big trains are. Trains are big and they're fast and they do not stop very quickly. They take a long time to stop. So if something is on the tracks that they're on, it's very hard for trains to stop in time. So that's why we cannot play or go near signs like this. Let's learn more.
If you see a railroad crossing and the signal lights are flashing on and off, that means watch out.
Use your eyes and your ears to stay safe.
A train is coming. Railroad crossing. That means be careful and watch out for oncoming trains. Look at the sign. This sign means
we see this sign a good amount. Here we go. Our friends and family who are in wheelchairs, either it be push wheelchairs or electric wheelchairs, see this sign a lot. This sign helps a lot of people. This lets us know when things are handicap accessible, meaning if there's a ramp we can go through or an area that our wheelchairs can fit.
wheelchair accessible. Wheelchair accessible means that a wheelchair can get in and out of that area.
It's very important. Very important.
Wheelchair accessible, it means...
What color do we see on the wheelchair accessible? Can't really see my face in this thing. I'll do half a face. What We have two colors. You're right. There is blue and white. Blue and white.
The wheelchairs can get in and out of this area. Look at the sign. It says danger, flammable. Flammable means that it can catch on fire very easily.
There's that word again, danger, danger. We do not want to go near or touch or smell or taste things with that word on it. So you can see there's red. This is talking about danger. Things are flammable. So things can go on fire, right? Fires can really be dangerous to people, to places, to anything. And we do not want to get close to it.
When we see the danger, flammable sign, we know not to have anything hot nearby, like a cigarette or a lit match.
Things can
because
catch on
that
fire.
Could start a fire.
And that's hot. Do not touch.
Danger, flammable means keep hot things away so we don't start a fire.
You stay away too. Not good.
Look at the sign. It says, caution, slippery when wet.
So this is a sign that makes it known that maybe the floor is wet, maybe something around is drying, that if you walk or use your wheelchair, you could slip and get hurt. Along with this sign, if you see a sign, so if you're going somewhere else, right, and you see this sign and you're like, oh, goodness gracious, I don't know where to go now. There will be arrows that say enter or this way or one way, but an arrow to show you the safe way to go. So it's important when you see a sign like this that says caution or do not enter to also look or use your ears around for signs with arrows to tell you where it's safe to go.
When you see this sign, be careful. It means that the floor is wet, and if you are not careful, you can slip on the water and fall down and hurt yourself. Caution, slippery when wet, means be careful. Someone mopped the floor and it's wet. And if you don't step carefully, you could fall down and hurt yourself.
On your feet or even in a wheelchair or a stander or a walker or anything. Gotta be very careful.
Good job learning about community and safety signs.
That's it for today. We're going to work more and more about safety signs and how they help us at home, at school, and in the community. Bye, friends.